All right, Michael Ketchen podcast, episode number 3, The Michael Ketchen Show. I'm back with Matthew Hitchcock and a lifelong friend that I'm excited to have on, Shaine Elvaranga.
Man, it's a pleasure to be here with you guys.
Well, you know, getting him here for 3 episodes in a row is a big deal.
I mean, it's what, hot money they call it
Hot
now?
money Hitchcock. So just fresh off vacation.
Brown.
You know, when I talked to Matt about this idea to bring back a podcast and do this and just say how I just want to do it on our terms, our way, business, real estate, mindset, everything we're doing, you're one of the guys that came to my mind right away because I've known you for basically my entire life, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It depends on who you talk to. But to watch your kind of evolution and what you're doing, I was so excited to get out there and talk to people because similar to Matt, you can also hurt people. Mm-hmm. You know, people pay you to hurt them, which is weird with the martial arts stuff and the discipline. And I just feel like we're in a place right now in this country where that is really missing. Like masculinity is under attack and everybody wants to worry about their feelings and we don't want to do hard shit. Like we talked about, we want shortcuts. Mm-hmm. And then you got him with the JJ and you with the kickboxing and everything. And I mean, where's that come from? Let's just talk about that a little bit. Where's the martial arts? Where's all that passion? Where's everything you got going on coming from?
On your end, son?
Yeah, man. Honestly, where martial arts comes from, first off, this is going to be lifelong. I'll be 80 years old. I'll be in the bed and I'll be like, I'll be fighting.
He'll be throwing haymakers at 80.
Trying.
Still beating people up, still hurting them.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I think it's just, you know, one day, you know, every guy thinks he's kind of tough. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
One day I threw a punch and I said, Lord Jesus, I can't punch. I went to the gym. And I'm like an addict, bro. When I get into something, I get into it.
Get obsessed with it?
I get obsessed.
Yep.
So once that happened, I wanted to like learn every martial art. It changed me. It gave me confidence.
Yep.
And it made me like realize like, you know, this is the way, you know, for me.
Yep.
For me personally. And then as I progressed, what really made me like happy was helping other people, like seeing them
kind of
come
teaching
from
it
yes,
and getting into it.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I never even asked you that. Did you like? That's a good point of the mindset. Did you get a confidence? Like we always joke and say if anybody doesn't know, Matt's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and shout out to Binda. Is it Binda Studio? Binda Julie and all those guys, great guys.
Hey,
we never talked about that. Is it like a quiet confidence? Because I think one of the things that's a misnomer out there, and Joe Rogan talks about this all the time, like. The toughest guys are always the guys who are calm enough to walk away because they know what they can do.
Oh, yeah.
Does that training, is that confidence, did you find a confidence from, and you've been martial arts your whole life?
I've started martial arts when I was 5, and it really was just an outlet because I tried a bunch of different things like most kids do when you're younger, basketball, baseball.
Yeah, I've seen you try to run. You are not an athlete like that.
I'm not built for those things.
It is not good.
I am not built for those things, but martial arts was just one of those things that just stuck. And it was just from 5 years old, it's just been a lifestyle. And I think that's why, for me anyways, it gives me that discipline because I know, like when I was going to karate back in the day, you went 3 or 4 times a week because you had to learn the stuff because you had to test and you had to progress and do what you need to do. And I think I carry that over in a lot of other aspects. I just stick with things. Sometimes it's not even that I'm very good at certain things, but I have that work ethic that I got from martial arts to keep pushing through and keep fighting and working.
That's a really good point.
And that's the discipline right there.
Well, and that's the part that really kind of stands out to me is like, I see this happening and I see this outlet and like, I think the thing that it's just wild to me, as you guys know, like you guys are big UFC guys, you guys are big fighter guys. I don't really get it. If I'm not watching it with Matt or you or somebody who can explain it to me, it's fucking Sputnik to me. I don't know what's going on.
It's artistic to us.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
We're watching it as like it's
an unbelievable experience.
It's like a live painting to us.
It's an unbelievable experience watching you guys because it's like actually breaking it down. But where I'm going with that is there's a reason it resonates and it's so popular. Despite everything in today's culture, and I don't know if you guys feel this way or not, but I feel like it's almost like talked down upon. It's almost like attacked. Like, do you guys ever get like when you guys tell people that like you do this, like you train for a living, do you ever get pushback? Does anybody ever give a shit around that? Like, is that openly like received, or have you ever run into awkward situations with that?
I mean, I look at it in a way where, you know, if dudes don't train, I'd be like, that's weird. You know what I mean? Like after work, like if you, especially when you're in your 30s and 40s, what are you doing? Like, are you gonna play video games? I look at it like, man, like I want my kids to be like, hey, my dad will whoop your dad ass, and that's real.
You want to be the tough
Oh
dad in the
yeah,
neighborhood?
like that's a real thing. Like
Yeah.
you got to be doing something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, apply
It's
it.
good for your mental health. You know what I'm saying? An outlet, a camaraderie. You know,
Yep.
so that's how
Especially the older we get, like you just have to find something that's going to keep you moving and doing something. And I feel like martial arts, and Shaine would probably agree, martial arts, there's always something that you can learn, which is
Yeah.
the biggest thing.
It seems like it's addicting too, because it seems like everybody I've ever met who goes to jiu-jitsu, like I don't know people, like I've never met a single person who's gone to jiu-jitsu and been like, I didn't like it. Like it's like, and I can't, like we keep giving Julio shit because I just found out he can't figure out my shit talking that much.
Yeah.
So like I saw him at the gym and I was like, I'm coming to choke you, right?
Yeah.
And apparently he took it serious, which is terrifying. But my point is like, I'm afraid to go. One, because I have an addictive personality, and two, it's like, to me, it sounds absolutely fucking miserable. It's like I'm gonna go get thrown around and manhandled by a girl who's like 80 pounds who just yokes me, and I'm gonna get frustrated. But everybody's addicted to this shit. Like you guys putting something in the water. Like what is it like? Like when you got into it, like you said the punch thing, but like did it just become like who gets excited about getting punched in the face? I don't understand you people. You people are freaks to me. Like talk to me. Like where's this come from?
Nothing exciting about getting punched. I will say that. You know what I mean? You got to be a real different dude. I mean, I started training, and my first sparring match was against this girl, and they gave me headgear. They didn't give her headgear. I said, "What?
You get terrified. I
I
would have left the gym.
I'm about to
I would have been the fuck out of there. That
She
would've been-
about $120. I said, "Oh man," and I'm equal. I'm treating everybody the same. So I'm fitting to give it to her.
Yeah.
I never got a whooping like that. Like I'm talking, my ribs was out. Like I went home, and then afterwards she was like, "Hey, can I get your number?" She beat me. And asked for my number. You know what I'm saying? It was like a domestic assault. So I from there on in, I was like, nah, this will never happen again. Never. I mean, it's
So that first ass whipping catapults the training.
oh
Is that what it is?
man, boy, I'll never want to feel that again. It's humbling. And, you know, that's what you need in the world, humbling. You know what I mean?
And that's a great point though too. That like I see, and that's again back to another reason talking to you guys about this and what we're doing, and even what you're doing with the miserables, which we'll get into. Coming from a point of like it is humbling, and I want to get better. Like we grow when we get uncomfortable, and I feel like we're creating a society where we run from being uncomfortable. We run from doing hard shit, and then I see what you guys are doing, running towards it. Right? How do you show that you both teach? Do you guys lean into that with new students? Do you see that when they come into the gym or the studio, or is that something that everybody responds to it differently? I don't know what you think when you're rolling, or what do you think when you're teaching?
Yeah, no. When I'm like someone new walks in the door, I mean, I'm treating them like, because I know I was in that position at one point. Like I knew walking in the door, like I knew nothing, and I was nervous, I was uncomfortable. So yeah, you try and like hold their hand as much as possible. You do things that are stuff that you're doing at a higher level, but at a very minuscule level, so they get a taste of it, and you just not overpower. You know what I mean? You can't give them too much information at once, just a little bit at a time, and hopefully, you know, those things start to stick, and they start to get addicted and go a little bit more. So that's our hope when we do jiu-jitsu anyways.
Because you seem like you hurt people when they come for the
Oh, I'm
first
the
time.
complete opposite. When people come in, I'm a balls to the wall kind of guy anyway. But I you know, when you're at a gym, it is like a cult. If you're not there for like 3-4 months and being consistent, I don't even know your name. I really don't, because you're not a part of my team yet. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look.
So it's almost like building that camaraderie and that culture.
Yes, I gotta trust you. You know what I mean? My coach Ray, New England top team. You know, he's in the business. I always say this, of building fighters.
Yep.
He is phenomenal at that. He's a professor. I make quitters. You know what I'm saying? I want to weed out the quitters, man. That's what.
So what do you mean by that? Expand on that? So you make a quitter. So you give me the logic there. Where are you going with that?
The logic is, I'm gonna make you go through the most suffering workout, hence misery. If you survive that and you build upon that, then you're gonna start working towards being a fighter. But I've seen many people go through little workouts and they quit, and that breaks your mind and your body.
Yep.
So it shows me you're gonna quit at everything. You know what I mean? And it's because I'm gonna be there doing it with you. You know what I'm saying? So
you're asking them to do something that you're holding yourself to the same standard.
Yes.
I love that. And again, I think the quitting thing is what you just said is amazing. It's a gem. If you quit at something, you'll quit at anything, right? The way you do something is the way you do anything, right? Or no, the way you do anything is the way you do everything.
Yeah.
And it applies to business. It applies. I mean, we see it. What we talk about real estate all the time. I was on a podcast yesterday, and I was like, all real estate investing really is finding an inefficiency and trying to make it more efficient as fast as you possibly can. So how do things become inefficient?
Yeah.
Someone quit. Someone threw in the towel. Someone did something wrong. That's all it is. That hard shit that you go through on the other side of that is the big pot of gold. And it shows up, it sounds like, in the gym. It shows up everywhere else. What do you guys say? Like, what do you guys think about when kids getting into martial arts? Because that's where now, when we grew up, we're all about the same age. There was none of this participation trophy shit. Like, it kills me.
Yeah.
I don't know who thought it was a good idea to give everybody, every fucking Tom, Dick, and Harry a trophy for just showing the fuck up. When in life have you ever won a goddamn thing for just showing up? Yet we're creating a culture that does that.
Oh, man.
Right?
Man. Yeah.
So when a parent puts someone into martial arts, I got to imagine they're working through that. But I mean, is that culture kind of creeped into you guys' world? Does that kind of weed that shit out? Is that the quitting like you're talking about?
Man, I mean, usually when I see, usually when I see it, it's the parents that are making them quit. They're making them quit. If I don't want my son, if my son doesn't want to go to a martial art jiu-jitsu, that's on me.
Yep.
You're gonna go, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
this isn't a negotiable.
No, this not. Listen, I can't protect you at school all the time. That's how I'm looking at it. You know what I mean? You need to know something. You need to have that discipline. He's been in it for 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's his job.
Oh, great. Now your 9-year-old can choke me out. This is great. This is what we needed to hear.
You know, but...
Well, the same thing in the studio, in the gym.
Nah, participation... You go to jiu-jitsu tournaments, they don't do that. Like, it's you have a podium with first, second, and third.
And that's it.
That's it. You don't have fourth, fifth, maybe
dude,
an eighth.
healthy.
Like, they don't have any of that type of stuff.
That is healthy. Like, why? To me, that's healthy. Like, that's what we need to get back to. Like, we play Little League. Not everyone started. Not every starter was an all-star, right? I'll never forget, little Michael running my mouth to my fucking 5th grade coach, or whatever it was. I thought I wanted to tell him about the batting order, right? I was batting third. I think we had like one other good kid on the team. I'm 5th grade. But of course I had to run my mouth, me, typical me.
Mike the mouth.
And he goes, okay. He goes, you know what? And he taught me a great life lesson. He's like, all right, I hear you. Yeah. So you want to see how much sacrifice it makes. So the next game, he dropped me down to 8th in the lineup.
Yeah.
He's like, well, you said, so I questioned him about it. He goes, well, you said we needed some more power and performance at the bottom of the lineup.
Yeah.
Are you going to put the team first? Or is this about your ego and what's convenient for you? And I look back and I was fucking hot. I was probably cursing back then too. But I was hot.
Yeah.
But I look back on it now, and even that little lesson, my takeaway was he was like, no. Like, if you want to work towards a goal, show it in your actions, not in your words. And I love this first, second, third. Not this everyone gets one.
I also think kids sometimes, like when I used to teach karate, for example, same thing. We would just give a first, second, and third. I think the education piece to kids is like making them aware, like, you can't win every time. Like, it's not feasible. So educating them first, giving the expectations like, hey, because they're like 4 or 5 years old, right? So you're trying to teach a 4 or 5-year-old, like, hey, tournament, there's going to be some kids that are going to win. Some kids aren't. But I want you to use this as a tool so that you can get better next time. So maybe you don't get first this time and you get third. How do you get from third to first? You made
that's a really good
8th.
point.
How do you get from 8th to 5th? Like, there's incremental steps and things that you can do to get there. And I think some of that just isn't reciprocal. We're not teaching the kids that. We're just being like, okay, it's participation. That's it.
And that's exactly, and that's the part that's dangerous to me, because it shows up basically in the working culture. It shows up with everyone. I mean, everyone you're going in, which is a perfect segue into what you were talking to me about a couple weeks ago. Talk to us a little bit about the Miserables and the Mizzery group and what you got going on, what you're trying to do.
Man, so that usually, I've been running like a tough class for like years, right? And you see people struggle and they keep showing up. And I'm like, man, misery. What is misery? What is it?
It is a feeling that is not good.
That's right.
All right?
It's discomfort. We're talking about being uncomfortable, right? It's discomfort. So when you see that people going through that and then they come out, you know, like, damn, I got through it. You know what I mean? Right there in my heart, you're part of my team. You know what I mean?
So you're part of that group, that culture, that
you
mindset.
keep coming in. It's the mindset of that. You know what I'm saying? You survive that. You survive anything. Go out there in the world after that. You know what I'm saying? You just went through me. I'm doing it with you, and I'm a jerk. You know, when
and
I'm doing
that's
it, a lovable jerk. But I'm with you on that.
It's the most important part.
Yeah,
because you're right there along with them, and it really, it kind of transcends, and that's back to the point like I made earlier. Like as like a person who doesn't really follow this stuff, it's so wild to me, right? Like I know you guys watch UFC religiously. You watch boxing, you know, all these things. I think and I don't know if you thought of this, but like it's like our human instinct, like as men and women, but really men. You want this. Like it's healthy to want this. Like it goes back to the gladiators in Rome. Like we've been doing this as people
That's a good point.
since whenever.
It's in our DNA.
It is in our DNA, right? Hunters, gatherers. You know, it wasn't just gatherers and fucking Beyond Meat. It was, you know, hunters, you know, eat what you kill.
Yeah.
So why do you guys think, and I've never asked Matt this before either, and it's a good on the spot. Why do you guys think that's so under attack nowadays? Why are they attacking that?
Why are they attacking?
Why are they attacking masculinity? Why are they attacking? Why does everyone want this cheat code? Why does everyone want this shortcut?
That's a really good question. I don't know that I have a great answer for it. I know that a lot of civilizations have gone through these ebbs and flows of this type of thing.
Yeah.
So I'm just hoping that we're already towards the bottom of that and we're going to start to go back the other way. But I don't exactly know why.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, right? It's serious though, right? Like you go back to the UFC guys and the modern gladiators. Like Dana White's a smart dude. He's picking on his entire marketing is built on human nature, right?
I guess a lot of it right now is probably just this convenience of life in general. Like we just have so many things that are super
We're
convenient.
too comfortable.
We're very comfortable.
that comfortable. We're
And
too
I
damn
think that's
comfortable.
probably the biggest thing is that we've gotten at such a comfortable point that we're like, well, since we don't have wars necessarily, like we can walk down the street and there's nobody that's like getting super crazy fights, pulling out guns and just random chaos, right?
Well, under this president, I don't know, Matthew. Be
Well,
careful.
yeah, I know.
Under
in terms of like,
under this administration, I don't know if we can say that the same.
in terms of how we actually live on
November
a
can't get here
day-to-day
quick enough.
basis, we actually have it pretty good. And maybe that's why the majority or some of the majority of people think we don't need those skill sets anymore to like fight and understand how to like move our bodies and punch somebody in the face or put somebody in an armbar or whatever it is. So that's maybe my
Why he
thought.
look at you and laugh when he said armbar? Is he going to roll with you?
I'm not trying to roll with
Have you guys ever rolled together?
Never.
A little bit in your kitchen one time.
Man, we got drunk.
We
one
might
time.
have scrapped a little bit.
And you know what I'm saying? I let him take me down. And
you let him take you
Of
down?
course,
Oh, is
man.
that-
I didn't want
yeah.
to break up the kitchen.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
is that
I
what it was?
mean, you know, but I mean, yeah, he's good at that.
He's good at that. It's the other stuff where you
Good at
got.
that. He's good at that.
All right, so
I'm gonna avoid getting punched, and I'm just gonna
That's
try and
right.
hold
He
on.
gonna run the whole time, and he not fast because I'm Jamaican. You know.
He's gonna get you. All right, so I got to ask this question then before I get out of here because I've asked Matt. I'll put you on the spot too. So who is the best UFC fighter of all time? Who's the guy?
God.
Is he like Team Khabib? Because we talked about this. Is that your guy?
Are we saying my favorite or the just eye test the
Well,
best?
give us both. Who's
well.
the best, and then who's your favorite?
This is actually sort of an easy question.
So yeah, if the best ever is, you know, like they say, if the aliens came down, you got to pick one. It's John Jones.
100%.
Still,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
John Jones.
is he, dude? I feel like he's been in this game forever.
And for all the people that are going to give us hate being like he does drugs and this
whatever.
and that, it wouldn't have mattered.
Whatever.
It wouldn't have mattered.
Was he
you could have
just
taken him off all that
freakishly
stuff,
athletic
and he's
and that's what it
still,
was?
Athletic, great fight IQ.
IQ.
It's moves his body well. Wrestling, he's a complete package. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, and then who's your favorite?
Favorite of all time is Anderson Silva.
Oh, I remember him. You and my brother used to watch him.
Yeah, Anderson Silva.
I remember. See, that's nasty shit, you guys. Well, I remember he broke his leg. I can't watch that shit.
That
Well,
hurt my soul.
I can't, oh my
Yeah,
god!
we
I
did.
hurt
like-
your soul, hurt my eyes. I don't
Oh,
do that
man.
gory shit. I couldn't do that.
It was like an uncle just dropped in front of me. I turned it off right
Yeah,
away.
that's crazy, dude. I don't know. What about you? Identical?
took all the answers. Yep.
Yeah.
John Bones Jones is still the best.
Yep.
And
That's crazy.
He's always going to be, unless, obviously somebody comes around, but yeah, he's the Jordan of MMA.
All right.
And then Anderson Silva, he was up there for a bit, and there was controversy for a little while
Around
in between, if it was Anderson Silva or John Jones for a bit, but clear.
That's definitely the way.
But
to go.
Anderson Silva is definitely my favorite too.
All right, cool. Well, Shaine, where can people learn a little bit more about you and get in touch with you?
Oh my God! Please go to Shaine Mizzery at Instagram.
Spell that because you spell it all fucking weird.
Oh,
so you gotta
yeah,
tell people how
spell
to
it.
do
All right. My name is unique, right? My mom was excited when she had me. So it's Shaine and then Mizzery, Mizzery.
I like that. I like it.
And
Check
you
it
could
out.
catch me teaching at New England Top Team in Salem, New Hampshire.
Yes, well, come on out and like I said, come get miserable, come get uncomfortable.
That's
and
right, baby.
Thank you for being here, and
I appreciate you.
we'll see you guys next episode. And as always, bet on yourself.